Let me pull up 193 because I don't remember. I remember now. Never mind. I just needed one image. Okay, it's weird. Trust me. I just needed one image. Last chapter was, if I'm not mistaken, it was the continuing of that was last chapter, right? The last chapter was the continuing of figuring out who Dokja actually cares for. Uriel got the double S grade item that if they ask if this person cares about them, they'll tell them how much they care by like a point value. You had everyone range from like 40. Well, GA was the lowest, but everyone was in the midst between like 40s, 50s, and 60s. And then I forgot who it was, but someone put Sangha in a dress, and the dress like boosted her all up to 400 points. And then they were like, wait. And then Yuan took the dress, and then she didn't put the dress on, and then it went up to 400 something points. So then we didn't get to see Sanga's true reading, but everyone's reading was fairly the same. Yu Sung's was the highest at like Persephone. There we go. Thank you. Persephone with the dress. So Yu Sung's was the highest. I want to say Yu Sung's was like 68 or 69 or something like that. It was like 68, I want to say. And then after we went through all of the reading hijinks and all that fun stuff, we it was like chapter break, and we came back from the chapter break. It was Dokja explaining, I would like to say to us, or just explaining in general, just his relationship with reading and how his mother taught him the benefits and the benefits of rereading. And you guys were telling me, and then the comments were how it was like when you reread, you're looking at it from different points of views, and you're getting something different from the same thing that you just read, because Dokja felt like there was nothing after he had finished the series for the first time, and he was taught that. But then also he was explaining to us how like reading was his getaway, how reading was so, like how much reading meant to him, which when you put into context like the beginning of the series and how Dokja talks about like TWSA, it makes sense why he feels the way he feels and why he acted the way he acted. And it was very interesting. We had really good conversation. But I don't remember like what the stinger of the last chapter was though. I remember that was like the gist of it. That's right. It was like I had asked the question if it was like, oh, Lightning Carnival. Like what's his name? Homeboy, you know what I'm talking about. Wants him to succeed Lightning Carnival, and kind of like didn't make a promise, but it was like a what is it called? Like he didn't a guarantee. It was like a guarantee of like if he doesn't succeed Lightning Carnival, then it like he would die in the next scenario. So that was the stinger for last chapter. Yeah, the blind guy. Oedipus. I couldn't think of his name. Oedipus, but yeah, it was Oedipus. So yeah. That's what last chapter was about. Crazy. I didn't remember until I looked. I hate proving, like I'd be like, I don't remember nothing. And then I look at a panel, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's what it was. So yeah, Oedipus was the one that brought that to him, but we know that Oedipus is speaking probably for Zeus of all people. So yeah, let me full screen this. Second of all, let's navigate to 194. Okay. We had a great chapter last time. Granted, I didn't remember on my own, but it was a great chapter last time. We got 2 chapters this time. The thing I need to remember is that they changed the date. I keep saying that. I feel like I said this the last 2 streams, but they changed the date of release from Tuesdays to Mondays. So it's like I choose to go live at this time because this is the time we're just used to meeting up at. So it's like I'll keep it at this time, but it's like that's why I started a little bit earlier, because I'm like the chapter's not dropping at 9, so I can start a little bit earlier. I think that'll be fine. So yeah, I need to remember that, and that's pretty much it. So let's hop in to 194. 194. Let's start. The effect of the attribute 8 lives has been activated. We have 6 lives left now, right? Your body has been revived. Cough. The head special ability is intelligence. You have become smarter due to the effect of the special ability. Ugh. Where am I? How did I end up dead? See, I asked this question. I'm like, why was he dead? Did he ask Soo Young to kill him? That don't make no sense. Why did she just kill him? All right. I left Soo Young to protect my body and was using third-person viewpoint to visit my friends in paradise. Someone must have killed me while I was asleep. But who? Could it be Soo Young? A new achievement has been added to your 5th story. People will remember you as the Messiah who knows shame. Why did I have to die at an awkward moment and earn myself such a weird achievement? Perhaps, did I literally die of embarrassment? Is it possible he really died of embarrassment? I don't know. All right. Hey, Dokja, are you alive again? What happened? We were attacked. They appeared as soon as you fell asleep. I did my best to stop them, but you ended up being wounded critically. I carried you and got away as quickly as I could, but then we were transported to this place. Okay. You understand, right? This is why I told you to get back soon. Personal skill lie detection level 2 has been activated. You have confirmed the statement to be true. You can't just take me for my word. No, I can't. Did you get a look at who it was? Did you get a look at who it was that attacked us? They were all masked, so I couldn't. I did identify. Slow down. I did identify a few of them through attribute detection, but I don't recognize any of them. She should be at least ranked 20 in Dark Castle right now. And whoever attacked us managed to get through her to kill me and trap us here. Anything else? Hey, shouldn't you be expressing at least the slightest bit of gratitude before asking all of those questions? I've been struggling for the past 3 days because of you. What do you mean 3 days? 3 days? Why? So this must be a thing with the 8 lives. Losing, like, it's like to him, it's everything's happening like this, but he's losing time. It's been 3 days since you died. Didn't you know? Come to think of it, 8 lives had a cooldown period. Darn it. What about my friends? I hope they didn't move on to the next scenario already. If they did, my plan would be ruined. I did a bit of exploring before you woke up, but there's nothing but clouds around us. I gave up already. So there's a cooldown on 8. That's ridiculous. So you're just goofing around with your clones to kill time? That's a training method. If I fuse with them after they do that, my skills level up. Pulling a Naruto. I didn't want to waste time while waiting for you. Would I swear. I promise you I did not read that speech bubble. I did not read that speech bubble. I did not read that speech bubble. What are you, Naruto? Naruto. Well, I did get that idea from reading that. Dang, they're just censoring just about everything. I did not read this bubble when I thought of that. When I was like, she's pulling a Naruto. I guess this is how she grew so strong so quickly. Avatar was a skill that TWSA didn't cover that much in detail. Excuse me. Aren't there any restrictions in using that skill? Can you make as many clones as you want as long as you have the mana for it? That would be treated. Mad loud, bro. Damn. Loud song. I'm skipping you. Messing everything up. Damn. All right. Aren't there any restrictions in using that skill? Can you make as many clones as you want as long as you have the mana for it? That would be cheating. It does have restrictions. Like I have to give away part of my memory to every avatar I create. Okay? Part of your memory? What if your avatar ends up dying? Then I lose that memory. But that's no biggie. I usually give away my useless memories. And if they return to me, I get them back anyway. That's crazy. That's crazy. But sometimes some of them go out of control. There's a clone I made when I first used the skill. I must have given it too much of my memory. It went out of control, so I couldn't get it to fuse back with me. Really? Can that happen? Then what about the memory you gave that clone? I don't know. But seeing how I'm sane right now, it probably wasn't all that important. You really must think you're sane. Shut up. So what happened to this clone? She didn't say what happened to it. There's just like another Su Young clone just out here. Was it destroyed? What happened? All she said was, I couldn't get diffused back with me. So it's just out there, just doing stuff, running amok. That's like, you just can't say that. Like, what are you talking about? There's another one of you running around somewhere. What's going on? Oh, there's something I forgot to mention. Some constellations came to visit while you were dead. I almost forgot. Don't give away important memories like that to your clones. Goodness gracious. They were members of some nebulae. I think they were Vedas and Tamna. They told me some vague things like how you should make the right choice. I forgot their modifiers though. Okay. Oh, and there was this weird Goryeo warrior too. That's my guy. A Goryeo warrior? It's a kingdom in Korean history. That's he didn't say much and just left. He just stared at your corpse and left. If he was a Goryeo warrior, could it have been Jungyak Chok? Wait, Constellations came here in person? I didn't even think of that either. Right? I didn't even think of that either. Like, we're sitting here like, what are you talking about? The Constellations came here. So where are we? Like, he's literally like like I at the same time I'm like, wait, the Constellations visited themselves? What do you mean the Constellations came here in person? Where are we? Instead of sending their incarnations, they were in their symbolic forms. Don't you get it? Even if they're in a symbolic form, there is no way a constellation would appear in a scenario area consuming that much probability cost. So it's like, we must be outside the scenarios, I guess. I think I know where we are. Cosmic Dimension. A skill used by constellations who have mastered the principles of yin and yang and the 5 universal elements. What are they? Someone who is capable of wielding it in the Korean peninsula would be 5 basic elements that constitute the universe in East Asian philosophy. Why don't you show yourself? I guess I was reaching too far trying to trick a constellation. We've met before, haven't we? Who are you? I have to say I'm not that happy to see you again. I don't remember who this is. Galactus is going to appear. I think I know who killed me now. Constellation Joseon's top spiritualist smiles at you. Oh, his mommy. Oh, his mommy. I was like, who is this again? It says mom. The king is waiting for you. Mom's calling for us. Okay. So pocket dimension, basically. Yeah. His mom. Those bastards. Bildu. They forgot about me again. He's going through it. Damn you. Constellation Defense Master is excited by the sight of a tower defense game. I've run out of mana. Is this the end for me? Spiritualist with a rifle is name. Oosh, is this? Who is that? Who is that? I'm saying who is that? I knew who it was. I should have just said his name. I was gonna say his name. I was like, I don't want to feel like an idiot. Shungyak? The Chimera Dragon. Where the kids at? Where the kids at? They up there? He looks so cool. He looks so cool. I remember now that you said you knew the King of the Wanderers. Tell me exactly how you know her. It's as complicated as it can get. I think I have an idea. Is she an ex-girlfriend? She's my mother. Woo! She's like, ah. She's like, ah. Ah. What? Really? Follow my footsteps exactly. If you step anywhere else, you'll end up lost. Why are you helping my mother? I don't get why an incarnation of your power would work under a king. Since your supporting constellation is Joseon's top spiritualist, you could be a king yourself if you inherited the right stigma. How did you know who my supporting constellation was? It's obvious since it's a Korean constellation who can wield cosmic dimension. Does my mother have something on you? Be honest with me. Maybe I could help you. She saved my daughter. So you owe her. I guess that's enough to make anyone loyal to her. I sense sarcasm. Because I believe that she only did that deliberately. Now Soo-young's like Dokja, like he's entered like the weird way that he feels about his mom. He's entered that because to Dokja, with everything that he's gone through, there's no way that this woman could have just saved your daughter out of just saving your daughter, right? It's like she wouldn't do that. Like that's not how that woman is. She wouldn't just save your daughter because saving your daughter was the right thing to do. She obviously has dirt on you. Like she obviously must be doing this and twisting this and doing this. Can't be that. Can't be. Like that's how he's taught. Like that's how he's slipped into that deliberately. Don't you find my mother a little suspicious? Like how she adapts so well to this world and how she knows information that no one at a certain point in the story. What are you trying to tell me? Let's put it this way. My mother had known all along who you'd get as a supporting constellation. She probably saved your daughter with the sole purpose of using you. But Dokja, do you not understand that you are talking about yourself? She only got that information from you. And what you're describing is exactly what you've been doing up until this point. You might be changing as of late, but that's how you were operating at the beginning of the series. It's like he villainizes her so much, but he doesn't realize that it's the saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. She raised him. She taught him things like last chapter told us. She taught him things. He thinks just like her. They think the same way. They do the same things. They move the same way, but he hates her for it. Right? He hates her for it because of all the things that she's done to him, but he can't take a step back and be like, damn, that's me. He can't do it. Feels like me, being honest, with my mom. For real. But I've been able the last couple of years to take a step back and be like, damn, I am like my mom. I can't. Sometimes she irritates the hell out of me. Sometimes what she does irritates me. And then I'll catch myself like, I'm doing what she does. Right? I'm doing the same thing. I didn't like the first time that I was aware of it was when I went away to college. Because she's like an OCD freak, a neat freak. Everything is her way or no way. If it's not her way, it's an issue. You're going to argue. There's going to be conflict. There's going to be something. There's always going to be something happening if things aren't the way that she needs it to go. And it's like, as a kid growing up, all that stuff, going through like a divorce, all it's irritating. It's very irritating. But when I went away to school and I lived by myself, and I know, like, because when I lived in a house with her, I didn't clean up. I didn't do any of these things unless she told me to. Like, I left something junky, I get yelled at, I fix it. Stuff like that. But when I went off to school, everything is in a place. Everything's neat. Always cleaning, doing this. Nothing is out of place. And it was like one day where I'm like, I'm just like my mom. It's like, I'm just like her. My roommate is junky as hell. It's like junk, and then my side is perfect. And I'm like, but when I got back home, out of the window, I'm back to being a slob, and I'm just back to turning into a kid again. But as soon as I went back to school, spick and span. I'm like, if we're together, I don't need to be like that because you're too much. But when I'm by myself, I'm just like you. And I'm just like, now I'm like, oh my God, I hate it. I hate it. But it's like, I don't want to, like, I have to legit catch myself where I'm like, if I'm like, she's irritating me, I'm like, but I'm the same exact way. Yes, it's irritating, but I'm the same exact way. And you just can't help it. Right? I just can't help it. It's just how I was raised. And it's crazy that this series is making me like bring that back up, because literally what this conversation is from this point on, where Dokja's like, does my mother have something on you? Like, oh, like there's no way. It's like, oh, she saved your daughter. That's right. She had to do something to get you to owe a debt. This and that. And it's just like, bro, like, you need to take a step back and look back at what you've been doing since this whole thing started, because you were only helping people because they served a purpose for you. You were only doing things because it would lead you to do this. You would only help this person because it'll lead you to do that. You only would take advantage of the situation because you needed this from that person. And it's like, you're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing. Hypocritically blaming family for doing the same thing that you do yourself. Yes. It's just like, but this is the magic of the series, man. This is the magic of it. Like, it's just reading this. It's a little infuriating, but it doesn't make me hate Dokja. It makes me irritated by Dokja because it's making me like it's making me think about my own life. And it's just like, come on, Dokja. And because it's like, I know you can do it. Right? I know you can do it. Don't you find my mother a little suspicious? Like how she adapts so well to this world? And how she knows information that no one would at a certain point in the story? What are you trying to tell me? It's just like, even this right here, it's like you're dropping a dime on yourself. It's like, she only knew this information because you knew the information. And you're talking about all this stuff, and it's just like, people have asked you those same questions. And you beat around the bush and never gave them an answer. And they got so used to never getting an answer from you that they don't ask you anymore. That's the whole thing. It was a main thing, or an early omniscient reader, where Dokja's like, I can't do too much because I can't have these people question me, because I can't give them an answer. So it literally got to a point where they just stopped asking. They just stopped asking, and they just relied on him. So now it's like, come on, Dokja, come on. What are you trying to tell me? Let's put it this way. My mother had known all along who you'd get as a supporting constellation. She probably saved your daughter with the sole purpose of using you. I don't remember how much I told my mother, but she probably befriended Giannucci's incarnation because of the stories I told her. You're mistaken about her. Mistaken. Miss Lee isn't as bad a person as you think. No one knows her better than I do. They say children know nothing about their parents. We're here. You can't come in. You're staying here with me. Guess his mom doesn't like having friends over. Press that bell there. Ding dong. The doorbell sounds very antiquated, but somehow familiar and cozy. And past the door, I heard a familiar voice. Come in. Opens the door, and it's their home. It's their apartment. I'm pretty sure this is like, it's their apartment. I can't believe how twisted she can be. Fourth wall is shaking. Fourth wall is shaking. Fourth wall is shaking. It took so long. I've been waiting for you. Maybe I should have just remained dead. How are you alive? I thought Nirvana killed you, Su Young, and killed you, Su Young. That's crazy. That's crazy. I only saw children calling their parents by their first names in cartoons. Are you still going through puberty when you're all 28 already? Just answer my question. The apartment arranger probably reminds Dokja back to his childhood with father and stuff. That's foul. Is it foul though? Is it foul though? Because we're only looking at it from Dokja's point of view. Like, granted, like, yes, we know his mom is super cerebral. We know Dokja's cerebral too. But we can't, just because Dokja had a negative moment from what she did doesn't mean that she didn't either. We can't take that away from her just because she's portraying herself as a certain way. Because weird enough, whenever the sit down happened with Sangha, her, and Nirvana, it felt a little weird. It felt like there was a way she felt, but she puts on a certain act or air for him, right? Right? It's kind of twisted no matter how I look at it. If you look at it from, like, but you have to think, yes, she killed the dad in this apartment. Yes, it's twisted when that's the only thing we think about. But what if this, like you got to think, all those memories of reading and all of that stuff that we just was praising last chapter happened in this house. And yes, a very traumatic moment in both of their lives happened in this house. But because that moment happened, does it take away all the good moments that happened there too? Like, if that man was super evil and did terrible things to them when it was just those two by themselves and they had those precious moments together, possibly, does that just wipe it all away? We only get to see Dokja's point of view now. And we don't get to see her point of view. We get to see what she's twisted and stirred. It's just like, we don't know how she really is. We don't know if there's a certain way she's feeling and she's just putting up something because she knows how Dokja views it. So there's so many different ways that you could look at it. But if we only frame it behind the mom killed the dad in this apartment, yes, it's twisted. But it doesn't take away from the fact that, was this the only house that the three of them lived in together from the moment he was born? This house holds years of memories. So for Dokja, who went through hell from the moment that happened on, yes, this apartment is the worst thing ever. But we know that he has a cherished moment that's happened in the same apartment. So there's just so many different ways that you can look at it. And we know that the mom wrote the book and did all these things and all this stuff, and Dokja went through hell because of it. But it's like, I don't know, like, all we see now is the cerebral woman that exists after her prison bid in this world, taking advantage of the moments, that the only moments, mind you, the only moments she got to spend with her son. She's now taking that information and trying to survive in this world. But it's like what about her? Like, where was her mindset while she was married, when the husband was possibly doing what he was doing? What led her to killing him? Did she kill him out of fear? Did she choose to kill him out of just wanting to kill him? Did she, like, all the stuff she did in prison, did she do that because she wanted to? Did she do that because she felt like she needed to? Did she throw Dokja under the bus? Did Dokja not come until, like, it was like an oversight, and it's just like, oh my goodness, I made his life so, like, there's so many different, like, variables that you could, if or if not, this or that or this. And there's so many different things. And because, like, we care so much about Dokja, and because Dokja's our our vessel in this series, it's like we've attached to him, and how he feels is kind of like how we feel. So how he projects, we see how like we're getting that. But it's just like sometimes we just how we were saying earlier, we gotta like peel away from it just a little bit, because there might be another viewpoint. There might be another vantage point of this situation that not even he, as smart as he is thinking about, because he's blinded by the trauma, by the history, by everything that's going on. And I think that's why he never, whenever it comes to interacting with his mom, he's always all over. He's haywire. He never can just nail a point home, because everything that she did to him, she's already under his skin by the time they talk, right? It's like, he walked in here, he already, like, fourth wall is shaking. He's already irritated. First thing he does, throws her name at her, and she's just like, damn. Only time I ever heard kids call their parents by their name is in cartoons. Like, damn, you hit me with that? All right. Next thing he brings up is right? Next thing he brings up is like, damn, I should have stayed dead so I didn't have to see you. Why are you alive? It's just like, damn. It's just like off rip. Like, you walk in, you feel disgusted at the fact that we're in this apartment. 2, you wished you weren't alive. 3, you're asking why I am alive. On top of not even respecting the fact that I am your mother. So it's clear that she's under his skin. And it's just like, so what are we, like, how are we even, like, navigating this? You're all, like, he's already erratic. Fourth wall shaking. Like, he's already, like he's erratic. Already. So it's just like, damn, Dokja. It's like, you got to take that step back a little bit, bud. But he can't. Because we know who he is. As much as he tries to portray and act like someone else throughout the events of what now is TWSA and all this stuff, who he is projecting to be, we know who he is. And whenever he comes into contact with her, he turns back into that kid. And it's hard for him to break out of it. It's hard. So hard. So every time it's these two, always great conversations, always top moments of the series. It always is. Damn. Let me lock in. My bad. It took so long. I've been waiting for you. Maybe I should have just remained dead. How are you alive? I thought Nirvana killed you so young. I only saw children calling their parents by their first name in cartoons. Are you still going through puberty when you're 28 already? Just answer my question. It's not that difficult to trick someone like them. I know more than enough about the future to do that. And you didn't even attend my funeral when you were alive. I didn't want to feel heartbroken. Is that why you had your men kill me again? I see that you made a lot of great friends. They all broke down in tears, not knowing that you'd come back to life. Why did you kill me? Incarnation Dokja Kim will be driven to death by the being he loves the most. Sangha told me. She begged me to save you. I noticed you came here with some other woman. To be honest, I like Sangha a whole lot more. That's none of your business, but I still don't get it. Why did you kill me when she begged you to save me? I fulfilled the prophecy, didn't I? What? Wait a minute. Is she saying? Incarnation Dokja Kim will be driven to death by the being he loves the most. The prophecy was fulfilled. And he's just like, he's literally like, bullshit that you're the one I love the most. If we're being for real, I'm not gonna lie to you, deep down, sick, some twisted way, I wouldn't be surprised if she is the one he loves the most. And he's just in denial because of everything that happened. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying that it is. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. The prophecy was fulfilled. Huh. Did you really think you could become the person I love the most by killing me? then you failed miserably. Again. I'm still getting notifications about my fate. Which at least goes to show that you're not someone I love. I guess you're right then. I still wanted to see if that would do it. That could have put an end to the fate that was forced on you. And you still have plenty of lives left. Stop pretending as if you did that for my sake. Dokja, I love you more than anything in this world. Perhaps even more so than I love myself. Reading again, part 1. Dude. Nah, it was not there. 80% of his life, she literally had option to return after she left prison. I don't know. See, I don't have information. I'm only navigating off of what we know. Ooh. That's what I'm saying. I don't have all that. I don't have extra information. So it's like, I don't know. But whenever these two interact, it's always the most compelling stuff in this series. Hands down, easily. Right? It's all easily. But I still, like, whenever she says this, I don't think she's lying. Right? I don't think she's lying. Am I gonna think that she didn't care about Dokja? From the information that I do know, I don't think I know enough about her before the events of the dad dying to know if she would have cared enough about Dokja or not. Right? And for me personally, I don't like making judgment calls off of only knowing one side of the story. Come on, throw. I don't like, I like to keep things, I like to be like, all right, this is where I could go, where a lot of people always go, like, this is what it is, this is what happened, X, Y, and Z. But then it's like, I have to take a step back because I'm getting this information through this individual. So everything about this situation is going to be, right? Everything about the situation is going to be skewed because of how it relates to the person that I'm getting the information from. So now I have to think that there is another viewpoint. I keep using the word viewpoint on purpose, by the way. There is another viewpoint. There is another perspective of this event from someone else's point of view. And it's like, what does this event look like to someone else? And it's like, what was going through their mind during this event? What made them act this way during this event? What about this? And what about that? And it's like, I don't know these things, right? I don't know these things from his point of view. I don't. It's like, I don't know these things from his point of view. I know how he feels about her, and I know how he thinks she feels about him. Again, I know how he thinks she feels about him, not how she feels about him. Two different things. How he views his mother skews how he thinks she views him. So even if she's manipulative and evil and she did everything on purpose and she made sure Dokja went through hell on purpose and all of that, in her twisted brain, she legit could be doing it out of love. But how it comes out and how people view it, it's just like, that's not what love is, lady. But to her, it could be, right? And that's the whole point whenever we have like the mental health conversations. You have people that end up manic and they have so many different diagnoses and different conditions that people have where they feel like they're rational. They feel like they're sane. They feel like what they're doing is right. But from the average person's point of view, that person looks crazy as hell. But to them, they feel like they're normal. So when she's sitting here and she's like, I love you, right? I love you. And I might love you more than I love myself. And she could be like, I did this for you and I did all these things for you and I made sure of this and this and this. And it's just like, but lady, everything you did screwed me. You wasn't thinking about me. You did that for you. But for her, she literally could be like, bro, nah, I damn sure did this for you. And just how she's viewing it and her actions are just in boom, boom land and is not rooted in reality. But as a takeaway, does not take away how she feels. It might be nasty and manipulative, yes, but it doesn't take away the fact that that is how that lady feels. And everything she is doing is because of how she ends up feeling. And that's the whole thing. And it's just like, until I get those reasons from her, I don't want to say that she doesn't, because she might. That's the whole thing. This series be in his bag when these two are on the freaking page together. This series is like one of the best series ever when we start investigating and we start uncovering and getting more details on what the hell happened in that apartment. Man, man. So good. It's so damn good. Goodness gracious. She needs to be strapped to a bed. She definitely cares. It's quite subtle of the fact that she survived well enough to this point from Dokja's story. Means she cared and listened to him. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you take that moment of Dokja didn't know what, like, because at that moment in time, Dokja just was so shell shocked by everything that was happening. Granted, it's like, my dad died. My mom killed my dad. My mom is now in jail. My mom decided to write a book. Everyone knows that the book is about me. All this stuff. His world literally got flipped upside down. I still go visit my mom because she's my parent and she's literally probably the only family I got. I don't know what to talk to this lady about, and she damn sure isn't saying anything to me. So I'm going to talk about this series I like. Those interactions, whether or not he puts any merit or anything in them, to him it was just like, man, I just went there and I just told this lady about this series I like. He could think nothing of that interaction, but for her, those interactions could have been everything. And it's clear she listened because she's still alive, right? She's holding on to minute details, unless she was given something crazy like how he was, like unless she was gifted something by some superior being. If she wasn't gifted something by some superior being, she definitely listened, because and I feel like that goes into play when she says, I love you. Because if she didn't care about him, there's no reason to remember anything that boy was talking about in his little weird fantasy series. If she didn't care for him, if she didn't love him, if she didn't like look forward to him stopping by and telling her more about the story, because who the hell knew the story was going to end up coming to life? There's no reason to hold on to that information. So there has to be some merit there, because she literally remembers it all. And the same thought process that Dokja went through whenever he's sitting on that damn train and he's like, wait, this is this. Oh, damn, this is TWSA. And then he starts using it. She went through the same exact thing. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Stuff was happening, and she literally must have been wherever she was like, this reminds me of what Dokja was telling me about. And then it was like confirmation. Oh, I'm off and running now. I know all this information. I'm going to make the most of it. So it's clear that whatever, like, she held on to those moments that she got with him. It's very clear. Very, very, very clear. Because there's no reason to hold on to him if she didn't care. Unless you just want to just say she's psychotic and she don't give a damn about anything but herself. But that's, let me just continue. Let me continue. Dokja. Starting now, we're going to read everything again. What your father did was so bad that he deserved to die. This was self-defense. Okay? Ooh, Dokja. Ooh. See? It's just like, was it self-defense? Dokja's beat up. Like, her wrists look like they're bound. So it's like this man, right? Was this man really beating the hell out of them? See, I don't remember everything from the first moment. Like the first time we got all this information, I don't remember everything. So it's like I don't remember like what was the facts or not. But right, I don't remember the facts. But like if this man legit was like beating the hell out of them, I don't remember. But if this man was like legit beating the hell out of them and she ends up killing him because he was beating the hell out of them, I don't feel bad that he went out the way he went out, right? But it's like semantics. It's like, was he beating the hell out of him? Did she provoke him so that he did beat her so that she could kill him, right? It's like, I want to kill this dude. I'm sick of him. Tired of him. I'm gonna make him mad. Then he fly off the handle and then I kill him. Like that's premeditated murder. But like if it was like a legit like domestic, like I've been beating him and beating him and beating on him and beating on him, and she couldn't take it and she killed him. Not sorry. 195. No title card. Dokja. Chapter 33. Reading again. I love you more than anything in this world. Perhaps even more so than I love myself. Okay, Dokja said the father was an alcoholic, gambler, abuser, ? When he trauma dumped Sangha. Gotcha. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Part 2. Murderer's notes from the underground. The underground murderer grew feeding on violence and abuse neglected by society. The Korean notes from underground born out of a broken family. Does she, mother, really believe what she just said right now? I struggled in pain for more than 10 years because of her. Does she think saying that will make me forgive her? Mother loves me? Lie detection. Yeah, don't break your heart. Don't do lie detection on her and she's telling the truth. What if I use the lie detection skill and it tells me that she's telling me the truth? Or what if she's lying? It's too late now to be saying something like that. I know. Then why say it? Because I don't think I've ever told you this before. You never know some things unless they're said out loud. So why didn't you ever tell me? I went to visit you so many times. How can you be so selfish? If I had to take a stab at it, she probably knew how you felt about her. And she could have told you roses and puking rainbows, and she could have told you anything good and you probably wouldn't have believed it, if we're being honest. Why did you always give me the silent treatment, and why? Why did you write such a book? My life was hell on earth. Whether I was at school or on the streets, whoever I met, it felt like the entire world was talking about me. Nothing changed even when I moved or transferred schools. I was always the son of a murderer. Dude, those look like the eyes of the other god. We doing that on purpose? That looks like the eyes of the other god that came through the timeout. I know that's the eyes of the world always watching him no matter what he did. But that visual kind of looks too crazy. I need to pull up the reference and side by side it really quick. My bad. I know it's the eyes of the world, right? I know it's the eyes of the world. Like, he just got finished saying no matter where he went, it felt like everyone was talking about him. I get that, but it's a little too similar, if you ask me. Where is it, damn it? That's way too early. Hold on. I know I have the image because here. Looks similar, right? Looks similar. I just have to pull it up. Looks a little bit similar. Okay. I would have been able to endure it had you just told me to hang in there a little and that I'd be able to get through all of it. Even if you sold my story out for money, I would have been okay as long as you told me that you were with me. Fourth wall is shaking violently. I wanted to expose the truth. What truth? That you killed father? You know that's not what I meant, what I mean. And this is when he says this, I know this is something that we talked about before. When he's like, it's like you sold my story out for money. And it's like, yes, it was your story, but it was her story too. It's like, yes, it was your story. And yes, you went through hell. But if he was beating the hell out of both of you, it was her story too. And maybe she didn't think of you whenever she was writing the story and she needed to get off everything that happened to her off her chest. And she didn't think of all the consequences. It's her story too. She just might not have been thinking of her child when she wrote this story down. So it's like, yes, it's your story, but it's her story too. And it's like, yes, you went through hell, but y'all both share a hell that y'all went through together. I wanted to expose the truth. What truth? That you killed father? You know that's not what I mean. No, I know exactly what you mean. Stigma self-justification level 2 has been activated. Because I read my memories again and again after you left. I read them again hundreds and thousands of times. What your father did was so bad that he deserved to die. This was self-defense. I went over it again too many times. Okay? That I can't even tell anymore if it was true or not. Frankly, I was glad that father died. He was a habitual domestic abuser and gambling addict. If he'd kept going, our family would have been in greater danger. You're right. So why are you mad? I tried to ask my mother numerous times. Why didn't you run away from home with me? Why did you leave me alone when I was so young? Why didn't you come see me after you were released? Nothing. Maybe I should have told you this much earlier. Right, I knew you'd say that. But as these questions kept building up inside of me, I ended up answering them on my own. Fourth wall shaking is beginning to subside. But I erased all the answers in the end. Why do you keep changing the original story? Had you not messed with the plot, had you let the characters die out as they were supposed to, the scenarios wouldn't have gotten this difficult. I don't care what the constellations are talking about right now. Because it had to be changed. As you already know, Jeongyeon can never reach the end of the scenarios in his third round. The end? Is that why you're going through all this trouble? You don't stay out your mind. They're being censored by what they're talking about, okay. The ending of this story is important to me. This world that we're in was the very thing that protected me while you were gone. Dokja, this is no longer a work of fiction. Why is the only quality available 1080p? I don't know. That's a good question. I thought multiple was available. And everyone lived happily ever after kind of ending. Simply doesn't exist in reality. I agree with that. We'll have to see about that. And when did I ever say I wanted a happy ending? You should stop. This world is out of control. This isn't a story that you can change just because you know a little about its future, no matter how much you struggle. Just go on and say it. Why did you ask to see me? You should stay here. I can't lose my only son again. I will do my best to get through the next scenario. Forget it. I have something to say. Just be honest and tell me that I'm getting in your way. I've put up with enough melodrama. I feel like I have something to say, but I don't want to feel like I'm changing what I'm saying. What Dokja is currently going through right now, I'm pause right here, my bad. It's probably at the worst spot. What Dokja's going through and what he just explained of having questions that his mother never answered. I feel I'm getting more of the story and I'm thinking more of what the situation was. And in my opinion, what was going on, I feel like what his mother is doing is being the villain that Dokja created her to be. Like, Dokja created an image of what his mother was because of how the world made him feel about the situation. And now she lives in it. For whatever reason it was in prison, why she didn't say those things, why she didn't do any of those things, why she didn't do, whatever reason it was, why she didn't do it. Whatever the reason is, we don't know what the reason was. We don't know why she didn't say it. We don't know why she didn't tell him all these things. Whatever those reasons are, we don't know. But from what Dokja said is that I kept asking you these questions and you never answered me. So I answered them for you. And then I got rid of those answers. And now, if we look at this whole situation, the whole conversation of the last 2 chapters it's been Dokja thinking as his mother, asking himself questions and answering the questions in the way that he thinks she would answer them, and not just letting her answer the questions. So now, even when she's answering the questions, she's saying, I love you. And she might not be manipulating him. This is a thing. This is a saying. I feel like this is something that a lot of people need this. You do right by people the first time, because sometimes you don't get a second chance to do right by them again. Me, I'm a big believer of giving people second chances. No, I won't let you do the same thing that you did to me before again. Yes, I'll remember what you did, but I'm not going to completely just ice you if what you did wasn't so massive and destructive to me. But I won't let you get over on me again. But other people aren't forgiving. Other people won't give someone a second chance, no matter how small or how big the offense was. So in this situation, because of the time, because of everything that Dokja did, his mother to Dokja, she doesn't get a second chance. You don't get to say you love me now when you could have said it before. And she could be genuine. That's the thing. We see her villainized. We see her look evil. We hear these things because it's from his point of view. And that's how he views her. But she could be genuine, right? She could be absolutely genuine. She's not showing any remorse, though. For whatever reason, she might not. That's the thing. She might not feel like. It's like, my only thing for thinking why she never said those things is because in her mind, she should be like Dokja. Like, she's sitting there holding his face. This was self-defense. Your father was kicking our ass. He was beating the shit out of us. He was going to kill us. This was self-defense. I shouldn't have to tell you. You lived it with me. That's probably what she's going through. But because we look at parents as our heroes, they're supposed to be these individuals, these stand-up individuals. She's going through hell too, possibly, maybe. We don't know. So it's like, even though she's supposed to be an adult and managing it because her little child isn't able to manage it, what if she wasn't? So it's just like, just as he's looking at her like, why aren't you answering me? She could be looking at him like, why do I have to answer you? Those could be two different things, and they're both just ramming against each other and bouncing back. So now she's like, I do care about you. I do love you, but he's just like, screw you, lady. I went through hell because of you. I went through hell because of you. You don't give a damn about me. You only care about yourself. You wanted that money from that book. That's why you wrote that book. He's answering for her. And she could have been like, and she literally says, I wanted the truth to be out. And he's like, what truth? And she's like, that's not what I mean. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that's not what she means, because he's already answered it for her. He's already came up with his own reason, because she never stepped in and said something. She never told him what it should have been. She never did. So he already encroached that ground, gave himself an answer that made sense to him. He gave him an answer that made sense to him, and he moved on. And no matter what she says, no matter what she does, there's nothing she could do. She could tell the truth till she's blue in the face, and it will never be good enough for him. So she could be telling the truth on everything that she's saying, but because she didn't do it when she needed to do it, when he needed it, Not when it had to be done, when he needed it. She needed to tell him when he needed it. And he needed it when she was in jail. He needed it when everybody was reading that book. He needed it when he was going through everything. He needed it, and she didn't give it to him. And he got older, and he got jaded, and now I don't need your answer. I don't need it now. So screw you. So this whole situation, like, read it. Read what he's going through. He's asking a question. She's giving an answer. He's saying, screw your answer. This is your answer. He's literally doing that. He's literally asking a question. She answers it. He's like, no. And she's like, and then he answers it. That's what he's doing. He's doing what he did, what that moment was. That's what he's doing. That's what this whole conversation has been since he walked in here. It's been him doing what he's always done. There's nothing this lady can say to him anymore. She could be telling the truth till she could be telling the truth. She could be not malicious. She could be like, I love you. This is what I'm doing. You shouldn't have been doing this. And nothing she says is gonna care. Nothing she says is gonna care. It's not gonna mean a bit of damn good, because this man has already gone through hell. Right? This man has already gone through hell. And he made his way through hell by himself. And now the person that should have walked through hell with him is here now. And he's like, get the hell out of my face. That's what this is. That's exactly what this is. So when I'm looking, right? So when I'm looking and I see this panel, I need to remember where I was. When I'm looking at this, right? And I see this, and she looks mad evil. I don't think she's sitting here looking mad evil like this. I think this is how he views her. He looks at her and sees that. Because when we go to the next chapter, we get the same scene, not shaded, not colored that way, and she just looks like she's sitting there like telling him what it is. And it looks mad normal. I think that's how he views her. That is how he views her. Nothing. She's already done too much. 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 And what is the heartbreaking thing? What's the heartbreaking thing? Honestly, is that if I look at this from her point of view, right? If I look at her, whose fault is that he views her that way? It's her fault, but I don't think she did it on purpose. That's the thing. It implies that Dokja's an unreliable narrator. He literally says, I don't know. Like he literally says a couple panels. Where is it? Where did he say 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 it? He literally says, hold on. Right here. I read them again thousands and thousands of times. I went over again so many times that I can't even tell anymore if it was true or not. You told me what the truth was, and I analyzed it so many times that I don't know. I lived it, and I can't tell you if it was real or not. He is unreliable. He's always been unreliable. But the thing, going back, it's her fault he views her that way. But I don't think it's her fault because she chose to do it. Off of the information I have right now, I don't know why she never answered his questions. I don't know why she never told him that she loved him. I don't know why. But if I'm looking at this situation and that man was an abuser, an alcoholic, a gambler, that house was hell. And she was a domestic abuse victim getting the shit beat out of her on a daily basis, watching her kid get the shit beat out of him on a daily basis. And she felt the only way out of hell was to kill him. And she went to jail for it. It's like, yes, she has a kid, but I'll be damned, she went through enough trauma that what if she didn't think about her son when she did all this? Like, yes, is it wrong she forgot about her son? Absolutely, because you chose to have him, possibly, maybe, I don't know. but damn, she's going through it too. That's she literally, when she sits here and she says this, where is it? When she sits here and she's like, I wanted to expose the truth because I'm a murderer. Like, the news painted me to be a murderer. I went to jail for murder. I killed my husband out of self-defense. He was beating me and they convicted me as a murderer. And she's like, I wanted to expose the truth. And he's like, what truth? That you killed father? And he's like, she's literally like, you know what that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. You know what the deal, like, what she basically is saying, what she basically is saying, and what she's basically saying, and I said this earlier, is the whole reason why she would have this conversation, where is it? That she would have this conversation with Dokja. Where is it? Damn it. I'm moving too fast. The whole reason you would have this conversation with a child that's probably under the age of 10, one, children that young are impressionable, but two, children that young don't know what the hell is going on. So sometimes they do need to be told, like, what the situation is happening. It's like, yes, Dokja knows what the deal is going on, but she's like, Dokja, I need you to understand that this was self-defense. From her point of view, as someone who's been victimized, she's been victimized. She's now in jail. She's now been convicted as a murderer. The last interaction that she had with her son as a free woman was, Dokja, I need you to understand this. This was self-defense. This was self-defense. You were here with me. We both went through the same thing. What we went through and what I did was for the both of us. So from her, it sounds like she's trying to spin a narrative. You're joking. But for her, it genuinely could be like, she could, like, you know how my dad did this with me. Like, he never treated, like, it sounds terrible, but my dad treated me like I was his best friend. So when I'm 8 and I'm watching rated R movies with him, it's like, a parent should be like, you shouldn't watch this. But I'm my dad's best friend. So he doesn't view me as an 8-year-old. He views me as his best friend. So he did best friend things with me. So this could be a situation where it's just like, I know you're a baby, but right now I don't kind of view you as a baby, right? I don't view you, right? It's like, I don't view you as a baby. Like, we both went through the same thing. So I'm writing this book because I need the truth to come out. Her not thinking about the experiences that he could be going through. He's like, why don't you love me? She's like, I killed your dad. Like, like, I killed your dad for the both of us. Of course I love you. Why didn't you just run away with us? Run away with me. It's like, Dokja, it's like, a lot of times, like, using real life as an example, a lot of women that, like, we get the movies and the one successful story out of thousands of a woman taking her children and running away from the abusive father and living happily ever after. A lot of times, the woman that takes the kid and runs away ends up dead. A lot of times that's the case. And I don't know how it is in Asian countries and Eastern countries of if a woman could just take her child and run away and live happily ever after. A married woman at that. So it's like, the answer to his question is like, Dokja, that wasn't going to happen. That's not realistic. The thing is, she should have answered, but her point of view literally could have been, why do I shouldn't, she literally could be going through so much, and she could have been, why do I have to tell you this? Why do I have to tell you these things? You know what we went through. It could be that. And we know we have family members that act like that to us. We have parents that possibly have acted like that to us, where they're like, why do I have to tell you these things? Do you not live every day? Do you not do this? Do you not experience that? Do I not do this for you? Do I not do that for you? Why do I have to say this to you? Why do I have to tell you these things? This is not what you know, but it's all the point of, as a kid, sometimes you just need to hear it. He says that too. I needed to hear it. I know you can't do anything for me. You're locked up. You're in jail. but I needed your words to tell me it was going to be okay. And for her, she could have been like, why do I have to tell you this? You already know this. I don't need, like, that could literally be what she's thinking from her point of view. So so it's like, she doesn't give him the answers. He's seeking the answers. He answers the questions on his own. And he's like, you know what? Screw her answers. I answer my own damn questions now. I ask the questions. You give me an answer. Screw your answer. I answer for you. He has a viewpoint of her now. Right? He has a viewpoint of her now. He has an image of her. She is a certain way to him. Am I on the right chapter? Yeah. She is a certain way to him. And there's no changing that. That's why you do right by someone the first time. You do right by them the first time because you might not get a chance to undo it. And that's where we are. I think the only time that Dokja probably would ever, and small percent, ever believe his mother or change how he feels about her is if she dies for him in a specific way that proves that she actually loves him. And then he could actually realize it. It's the only time. And then he's going to feel so bad because it's going to be too damn late for him to actually be like, I shouldn't, like all these other things that you regret whenever you get into an argument with someone and then something happens to him and you never had the chance to apologize to him. That's the only way that this could be fixed. That's the only way I see it. It's the only way I see it. It's the only way I see it. It is. So now it's just like you go through this conversation and it's just like she's given up on the fact of like there's no hope of us talking about what we went through anymore. There's no hope in that. Like I'm giving up on that. So now I just need to move forward. Like, Dokja, what are you doing? Like, why are you changing things? Why are you doing this? He's like, and now he's in his bag now. 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 So it's just like it's no matter what she says. No matter what she says, it's finito. I think the reason she's at fault, and a major one at that as a parent, is because she left him alone even after finishing her prison time. Dokja did not, you miss a word. I want to assume have her in his life even when she could. I don't know the reason why she didn't show back up for him. I don't know the reason why. That's the whole thing. I don't know the reason why she never showed back up for him. It could be any number of things. It could have just been because she didn't want to, right? Which would then be like, oh, you piece of trash. It could have been he doesn't need me, right? It could have been like, right? It could have been like yeah, we don't, and you guys keep saying that. It's like we don't know how long she was free after we don't know how long she was free or how much prison time she served. So it's like, okay, was Dokja 14 when she got out of jail? Was he 17 when he got out of jail? Was he 20 when she got out of jail? Like, we don't know. At this point in time, we don't know. People who've read probably do know. But it's like there's so many reasons why she could have not. Like, she could have already knew how he felt about her and was just like, maybe he doesn't need me. Like, he's made it this far without me. And that's the wrong way to think, but that could have just been it. He doesn't need me. And honestly, what this could have been, she probably never, like, if this event, like, if the world just stays normal and TWSA doesn't come to life, she probably would have just, like, depending, it's just like, I don't know. It's just like there's no telling if she would have popped back into him, or there's no telling. There's no telling. Like, there's so many different reasons. I feel like in this situation, if you want to view her as a villain, you have all the ammo that you have to view her as a villain. If you want to be sympathetic for her, you can choose to be sympathetic for her. If there's one thing that you feel like is egregious that's against her, 1000% you can hold on to that and you can feel justified in feeling that way. Absolutely. If you choose compassion, if you choose to be like, I don't know, blah, blah, you could do that too. And I feel like all of us are on different spectrums of she's a piece of shit. Maybe she was acting this way, this, and that, and this, and that. Like, we all have our different reasons of where we fall on the spectrum. And I feel like that's what a good series does. I do feel like that's what a good series does, is you have the ability to stand on any part of the spectrum and not be right and not be wrong. to be somewhat right and to be somewhat wrong. And then the series gives you more information, and then you can skew your direction in whatever way. This is my opinion, but I do think Dokja's mom is a sociopath on some level, possibly. This is the same woman who put a hit on her own son for reasons they could have discussed beforehand. Would he have talked to her? That's the question. No, he wouldn't have. A true morally gray situation. Would he have actually talked to her and listened to her? If this conversation is indication, he wouldn't have, because they didn't talk. He talked to himself. If you take a step back and look at this, if you take a step back and look at this conversation again, they didn't talk to each other. He talked, she gave an answer, he said, screw your answer. He gave his own answer that satisfied him and then kept talking, and then she tried to interfere, and then he said, no, gave his own answer, screw you, gave an answer that satisfied him, kept talking. She tried to interject again. He said no, gave his own answer that made him happy, that made him continue on to where we are now. All this to say, I've been ranting. I still haven't finished the chapter. Right? I haven't finished the chapter, but no, 100%. Dokja, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Dokja is just like his mom. Everything that he said about her before he got face to face to her, everything he said is everything that he did all the way up to this point in the series. He literally, like, their apple does not fall far from the tree. He, as much as he hates it and he can't see it, everything that he villainizes his mother for, he does. Maybe he doesn't want an answer. I think it's a normal event and go through such emotions. No, I think it's very clear that you do this. I think it's very clear. This right here. You see this? Where he's just like, I tried to ask my mother numerous times, why didn't you run away from home with me? Why did you leave me alone when I was so young? Why didn't you come see me after you were released? Right? And she's like, maybe I should have told you this much earlier. Maybe she's like, maybe I actually should have did this instead of doing it now. And he's like, I knew you'd say that. But he's like, as these questions kept building up inside of me, I answered them on my own. I didn't need her answer. I gave my own answer. I don't need her input. So when you take this, where he's literally like, I answered my questions on my own, and then look at their conversation. He asks her a question. She gives an answer. He calls bullshit. He answers how he thinks she should answer. And then continues and asks another question. She answers. He says bullshit. He answers how she thinks she should answer. And then continues. He's doing the same thing that he did when he was a kid. When he needed her to answer these questions and she didn't answer these questions, he answered them himself. Therefore, completing the image of my mom doesn't care about me. She only cares about herself. When possibly she does care about him, but she just never said it. I needed you to say something to me. I needed you to tell me it was gonna be okay, and you didn't tell me that. So now, when you tell me that it's gonna be okay and you love me, you don't get to have those words have meaning and have effect on me. That doesn't get to fly here now. I needed them back then, and you didn't give them to me back then. So now you just don't get to say it. That's what this is. That's what this is. And I think she understands that, and I think she plays the role that he put her in. He put her in the bubble, and we don't know if it's painful for her. He put her in the bubble, and she'll live in it. Fine. I'll be the villain that you made me out to be, even if I'm not trying to be that villain on purpose. She could not be wanting to be that villain on purpose. She could have made an honest mistake. She genuinely could have just made an honest oversight of thinking her son should have knew that she loved them, and didn't answer the questions. And for him, he's in hell. right? He's in hell and had nowhere to go and needed her, and she wasn't there. So she could be 100% malicious. She could be 50% malicious. She could be not malicious at all. But for Dokja, it doesn't matter. Because when I needed you the most, you weren't there. He literally says, he didn't need for her to do anything. Right? He didn't need for her to do anything. All he needed for her was to say, it'll be fine. That's literally all he wanted. I just wanted you to tell me it was going to be okay. That's it. All I wanted you to tell me it was going to be okay. That's all he wanted. That is literally all he wanted. And she didn't do that. For whatever reason why she didn't do it. She didn't do it. And that was it. That was the point of no return. Quite literally. That was the point of no return for him. And no matter what she does now, to him, it don't matter. Because I went through hell without you. I'll be damned if I let you back in my life. That's what this is. I'll be damned. He literally is telling, like, he's literally recanting that I went crazy. I lost my mind trying to understand what happened. And you left me alone. So even if she didn't do it on purpose, right? Even if she didn't do it on purpose, the damage was done. So she will always be the villain. She will always be evil. He will always view her as the worst person in the world. Think about it. There are beings that are committing genocide. There are beings that are wiping people out and turning people into demons. She's the biggest villain to him. He can't even keep his composure around her. But he's looking demons in the eyes and looking at them like, I could kill you. Up and down. But this woman gets under his skin. She's a true villain to him. That's how he views her. She is terrible to him. Because she abandoned, like, she abandoned him. She abandoned him to him. Even if she didn't do it, that's the great part about the writing in this. Because if we only stay in Dokja's point of view, we view her as evil. But if we choose to step away from his viewpoint, you can see the intricacies and be like, what if this woman wasn't evil? And then it just takes everything and makes it somber. Because it's like, it's just two hurt people hurting each other. That's all it is at the end of the day. It's just two hurt people hurting each other. That's all it is. That's all this really is. It's two hurt people hurting each other. And neither of them will heal because of it. That's what this is at the end of the day. That's what it is. And it sucks. It sucks. But that's good writing. That's good writing. Now let me finish this damn chapter. That's good writing. That is good writing. Let me finish this damn chapter. Okay, here we go. Just go in and say it. Why did you ask to see me? You should stay here. I can't lose my only son again. I will do my best to get you through the next scenario. Forget it. Just be honest and tell me that I'm getting in your way. I've put up with enough melodrama. You don't know if you know Dokja's side fully by your logic of not knowing about the mom. Say that again. I'm confused. I don't know what it is that you want, and you probably wouldn't tell me even if I asked you. What does she mean by again? Like the first time he died? That's also true? No, you got to think about it from her point of view. Like, she went to jail and lost her son. Yeah, you have to think about it. Not think. You have to literally divorce yourself when attempting to think of her point of view. You have to divorce yourself of anything to do with Dokja, and you literally have to try to think of what the hell could have been going in her mind during that time when she killed her husband and went to jail and decided to write this book. You have to you have to divorce everything that Dokja has given us context on. You have to divorce that, because for her it was, I'm being beat, my son's being beat, I killed him, I went to jail, I'm in jail. And it's just like, we get so little of her point of view, it's hard to do it. But you can't think of anything Dokja has said when trying to look from her point of view. You can't, because if you do that, it perverts this. Just like how we don't know the mom side clearly. What about Dokja's side? Do we really know everything about him? We don't. We do not. We do not know everything about him. We don't. We only know what he's told us. And also we have to think the fact that he was a kid too. So is it reliable? Is it unreliable? What's the dealio? We don't know. We don't know. But I do think this situation is two hurt people. It's two people that both went through trauma and dealt with the trauma differently. That's all of us. We all deal with trauma differently. Like you guys in chat could have a family member pass and it could destroy your world, and everything can crumble apart and you can not know what to do. And for other people, they might be able to digest the fact that someone important to them passed and they can pick up the pieces and move forward. Two people with similar events that have happened in their life can both deal with the trauma differently. They both went through being beat. They both went through being abused. They both went through the things that their father put them through. They both dealt with the trauma differently, which has led them to this point. It's like both things have led us here. Now, because we don't get any information with the mom, we don't know what the hell happened. Like, we don't know what's happened from her point of view. We only know what Dokja's told us, and we only get bits and pieces of it. Like repressed trauma, there could be other stuff that happens, that more events start happening and he starts remembering more. And then we could be like it could be like, damn, maybe the mom was a piece of trash the whole time. And he really didn't remember it. What if the whole reread things and look at things from different point of view and this and that was a way to brainwash Dokja and make Dokja not see what was happening fully? What if that was something like that the mom was using? Like, there's so many different ways you could look at it, but I don't want to automatically jump to that because I don't know. The series hasn't introduced that to me. So from where it is right now, I'm kind of just like, oh, this is what it was. That would be a sick twist. It would be crazy. It would flip the whole multiple reading thing on its head. Like, this was something that was so precious, but it was a tactic. Like the mom trash theory. I think, I don't know. I think she's culpable. Like, yes, she should have told Dokja. She should have answered his questions. She should have reaffirmed him. She should have did all those things. Does it make her a terrible mom for not doing them? Yes. Does it make her a horrid person? I don't necessarily think it makes her a horrid person. She just made a mistake. Right? That could be a mistake that she made. And maybe it's something that she thought about and she was like, it was a mistake I made. And hopefully I can make it right, but he won't let her make it right. So I'm kind of on like it's like, you made a bad decision. You did a bad thing. But her bad thing is it's like what she did isn't unforgivable. In my honest opinion. It was very, very, very bad. But it's up to Dokja on whether or not he would rather let her in his life or choose to keep her out. And I think that it's just up to him. And where he is right now, he's never going to let her back in. So I think she's just a person that went through trauma and made a decision, and her decision proved to be very bad when it came to the relationship of her and her son. That's what I think it is. That's why I'll sit now until we get more information and I find out she's a piece of trash. All right. I put up enough with the melodrama. I don't know what it is that you want, and you probably wouldn't tell me even if I asked you. A sad look on her face. She's sad. Does she even have the right to be sad? I really didn't want to have to do this, but I guess I have no choice for now. Who do you take after to be so stubborn? Entertained by the family drama. Uh-oh. Dokja! Uh-oh. Tahoe. Gionucci's spells are difficult to deal with, but you can counter them if you know how. The problem is my mother. Since I don't know who mother's supporting constellation is right now, I need to rush her down now before she has the chance to use her abilities. Bookmark has been activated. I choose bookmark number 4, Lycanon Ispering. Goodness. Way of the Wind level 10+1 has been acted. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Ooh, it's going to end like that. You piece of trash. You piece of trash. Piece of trash. I feel like, I don't know. Child Dokja at the end card. I get this look, and for him to be like, for him to look at her, the little Dokja, did I miss that? Did I look past it? Was there a little Dokja between? There was a Dokja between. There was a Dokja down here. Oh man. I didn't. But for him, and this is the through line between this is the through line but the last 2 chapters. For him, like how he views his mom. I don't want to keep harping on this because we spent a good hour talking about it. But for him, and how he views her. She is the worst person. Right? She's the worst person for him. She's like the worst person ever. Like all pleasantries, like I can't think of no sophisticated words just to put it plain and simple. She's the worst person to him. To him, she has done no good. He can't ascertain what she did was good or not. It's just like, excuse me. It's like, you killed dad. You killed him. And even him, right? He could even, like he even said, yeah, what he did was terrible. The dude deserved to die. But he still hangs over her head the fact that she killed him. He can recognize that what he was doing was bad. But the fact that she killed him, he hangs it over her head because he can't stand her. So he hangs the fact that she killed him over her head when he knows that dude was bad. That's one. She can do no right. She did everything wrong to Dokja. Everything you did was wrong. The fact that you decided to kill dad was wrong. The fact that you decided to write this book was wrong. The fact that you didn't answer me was wrong. The fact that you didn't come see me after you got out of jail was wrong. Everything you did was wrong. Everything you did caused me pain. What you did, people looked at me like the child of a murderer. I couldn't move and talk to nobody or make friends because of you. I couldn't do this because of you. I couldn't do this because of you. I feel this way because of you. I don't have a social life because of you. I'm awkward around people because of you. And it's literally like, if you want to do that, it's because of her. The actions that she did had a negative effect on him. Therefore, any wrong thing in Dokja's life from the moment she killed his dad to whenever he wants to end is because of her. Everything. Everything is because of her. And if we think she's terrible, how else was he supposed to see things when no one else was there, a teacher or God? Absolutely. Absolutely. Her actions that she didn't think about totally led to this outcome. So now that we get past all of this and she wants to show back up, and it's like, lady, get the hell out of my face. Everything that's wrong in my life is because of you. And how dare you try to come back and talk to me? Nah. So you gotta think of, and this, I don't even feel like this is something that you guys have to think, because this is how you guys feel. It's like, we look at Dokja's life and everything that's bad that happened to him was because of his mother. So why else would he view his mom any other way but piece of trash? He can't even like logically think that she could be sad because of everything that she did. Like, he's looking at her and he's like, she's sad? Why is she sad? And he doesn't say this, but you can definitely put this through. He says, does she even have the right to be sad? But this could be like, she's sad. How can she be sad when I went to school, they did this? How could she be sad when I'm in public, they do that? How could she be sad when I do this and she didn't say anything to me? How could she be sad? She didn't go through what I went through, right? And we all know how that feels, because if we've all been through things in life, and we all have internalized the things that we went through, and people that we feel like should have stepped up for us, or they could have done something that could have changed the outcome of how we feel. We think that. How dare you? Like, how could you say these things when you could have did X, Y, and Z? We might not have had the courage to say that out loud, but we feel that way. So it's like, we get how he feels when it's just like, how dare she be sad when I went through all of this? But to divorce myself from Dokja and understand the pain that he's going through, I get it. I've been where he's been, right? I don't choose to think this way because I can't think. I've been where Dokja's been. I've been at that point of can't standing someone because I feel like they should have done something that they should have done, right? You should have did this. This is something that you should have did. But then it's like, that could have been something that never crossed that person's mind. And maybe it should have crossed their mind, but it didn't cross their mind. That literally could be something that didn't cross their mind. Just like how some people can be wrong about something and genuinely like not know, but they are 100% wrong in what they did. 100% they're wrong. You can be wrong in something and they could just not know. They can literally be ignorant. I don't think Dokja ever said all the problems in his life was because of her. He doesn't have to say it. We can look at his life and there's no, like, she's the reason why it is bad. And he said enough up to that point where I wouldn't be surprised if he said that. But everything that he went through is because of his mother. He wouldn't have gone through any of the traumas of school and being in public if his mom didn't write the book, right? If she didn't write the book, he wouldn't have gone through that. He wouldn't have. If he did go through it, it would have been to a lesser degree. It wouldn't have been like that. It was like, only problems caused by her was her fault, but she wrote the book, and through her writing the book and through them connecting 2 and 2, that's her fault, right? That's her fault. Like, if she didn't write the book, that wouldn't have happened. Therefore, all that stuff that happened to him constitutes as her fault. Remember, with current knowledge of Dokja, yes, but remember, you can't be sure, but I feel like that's just common sense. Like, Dokja, like, in the past has said that going to school and people looking at him as the child of a murderer bothered him, right? The book bothered him. All the stuff about the book bothered him. I couldn't do this because of X, Y, and Z. I feel like it's just common sense to be like, oh, all of this stuff connects back to this book. A reporter didn't write the book. A neighbor didn't write the book. A random person didn't write the book. She wrote the book. And I remember the first time we wrote the conversation, whenever, because Dokja was like, she sold my side of the story. He said it again this time. She sold my story, right? Without asking me. She sold my trauma without asking me. And it's like, yes, because she wrote the book, he went through that. But then again, yes, it was your trauma, Dokja, 100%. I'm not taking that away from you. But it was her trauma too. You weren't the only person that went through something. She did too. She went through something. And it's like more information can be told to us. And maybe it was like, maybe dad wasn't just an alcoholic, gambler, abuser. Maybe they both were just like very toxic to each other. And she hit him and he hit her. Maybe the whole relationship was just scuffed and screwed up and all messed up. Maybe that's what it is. But from the information that we know right now, they both were victims. And she did something without thinking of what the consequences could have been to Dokja. And whatever the reason it was why she didn't answer Dokja's questions, why she didn't go back to Dokja when she got out of jail, whatever the reasons were, we don't know. I don't know what the reasons are. I can come up with reasons as to why. I can come up with a few reasons. She could have just not cared, right? Right? She could have just not cared. Or it could have been something that she didn't think about at all. Or it could have been, why do I have to tell you these things? You should already know these things. It could be a myriad of different things. I'm not 100% sold on any of them. I'm just in this. It could be this. And if it's this, I can see why this. If it's this, I can see why that. If it's this, then I can see why this. That's where I am. But it's like there's so many different things. But when she's sitting here and she's sad and Dokja acknowledges the fact that she is sad, I don't want to take that emotion away from her. Where it's just like, could she be? And then I take this emotion, how I think, I take this emotion of she's sad. Damn, she actually feels bad about this conversation. She was stammering over herself earlier in the conversation when she's just like, that's not what I meant. This is what I was trying to do. So it's like, I'm taking all of these things. I then apply these emotions to, she's a piece of trash and she did it for herself. And it's just like, man, this chick is crazy. I take that same emotion and then I apply it to the person that just didn't think about her son. And I can feel like, oh, she's sad about this and she probably feels guilty too. I then take those same emotions and I apply it to the person that is like, excuse me. And I apply it to the person that's like, you should already know. And you should already know how I feel about you. And then I could be like, oh, this must be someone who recognized what she did was wrong and is hoping to try to right her wrong. And now is faced with the fact that her son doesn't want to let her right her wrong. I can apply it to all the different things, but I'm not yet sold on one of them. But now I'm just keeping all three up in the open and I'm cycling all of them. And now as we get more information, it can change. Maybe I could drop one. Maybe I can add a fourth. Who knows? I believe she could have handled it better. She doesn't have to be perfect, but she clearly did bad out of Norm by not returning and giving his company. She still might be wearing the prison uniform because she feels guilty. There's so many different ways that you could look at it, but I'm not yet picking one. I'm just what I'm really stuck on is like, it's like she could either be the evil person, the person that realizes that they're wrong, and the person, well, it's two versions of the person that feels like they're wrong, and the completely evil person. That's where I am. And I don't want to just full throttle on one of them. I kind of want to think of all of them because the whole story could flip on its head if she is crazy, but her emotions are swaying from manic to insane to very sad to normal. She's all over the place. She's mentally unstable. Like that could be something that's crazy if that's revealed to us. Or she could just be one of these people that like she never took into account what her child could have been going through. And there's people like that every day where it's like, I went through something that's crazy and traumatic, and I didn't necessarily think about what in return what my actions would have done to the people that loved me. I kind of just did what was best for me, right? I kind of did what was best for me. And I felt like getting my story out was what was best for me, because they painted me to be a murderer, all of this stuff. And I like, I don't know the specifics of the book I don't know the specifics, not of the book, of the court case. I don't remember the specifics of the court case. I don't remember if that was told to us, but I don't remember the specifics of like if she was painted in the news as a murderer. You guys could tell me wrong up to this point without any spoilers. But it's like, what if the court case was like wife murders husband and weird thing, and now she's being tried as that, and it's like that's the headline, and she's in prison like, but I didn't murder him. But I didn't murder him. That could be one thing. And she's like, well, I need to write this book and get my point of view out because I definitely didn't murder my husband. I protected me and my son. And that could just be one of the versions of her. It could have been a version of her that murdered her husband for real, and the relationship was toxic and it's not what we think. There's more information to be learned. It could have been like she was painted as a murderer and she wanted to get her point of view out. There's so many different ways you could look at it. It's nuanced. It's not just black and white. Even if we want to paint it black and white, it's not black and white. Nobody knows how much Dokja was suffering than himself. That's why I hate that she can get away with an I love you BS. But I feel like that's personal leaking out with how much you care for Dokja. Because what if she's not trying to get away with an I love you? What if you're viewing it as she's trying to get away with an I love you? She can't turn time back and change what she did. But if she can express remorse in what she did and hope to move forward and show that she does love him, could you accept it? If you can't accept it, then you can't accept it. And she just has to live with that guilt. But she could not be just trying to get away with an I love you. I can't undo the trauma that you did, like you said. Only Dokja can tell us how much trauma he's been with. But even if I was complicit in making you go through that trauma, even if I didn't do it on purpose, I can't undo it now. And I realize what I did was wrong, and let me try from now. Right? This is the first times that I'm getting to see you since. I didn't come see you for whatever reason. Like, she hasn't told us why she didn't go see him immediately after she got out of jail. She didn't say that, but maybe now, could we move forward? And if you can't move forward, then you can't move forward. But it's like, that could be a possibility. Those are possibilities where it's just like she could genuinely feel guilty for what she did. And she wants to try to convey it, but she can't convey it because everything that was repressed, all of the anger towards her, whenever he sees her, pours out. Dokja never gets to the point of getting everything out and then saying, let me at least attempt to have a normal conversation with my mom. He doesn't do it. He always ends up escalating to 10, or she cuts the conversation short because she knows where this is going to go. This is what the conversation needs to be, and that's all this conversation will be, and I'll remove myself from the situation. This is their first true extended conversation where she attempted to get some of these feelings out, and he wasn't having it. He just, if you noticed, he started to just let it pour out. He just started to let it pour out. And she couldn't get a word in, right? There was no getting a word in. because now isn't the time for you to get a word in, honestly. Now is the time to let this man try to process what he went through and get all this out. And maybe if he can get enough of it out, maybe you could say something that resonates. Or maybe you can't. It's like, maybe you can, but maybe you can't. Maybe you possibly could break through. Good chance you might not break through. But there's nothing that you can say to him that's going to make him shut up, right? She said, I love you. He paused for a second and right? It was like, there's nothing this woman can say to him that would make him stop. There's nothing. That's why I feel like if this is truly a guilty woman that wants to at least try to attempt to re-bridge this relationship with her son, with how damaged Dokja is, the only way for her to even get through to him is for her to die in front of him or die for him. And for him to then posthumously process everything, realize what she was going through, and then be like, damn. Other than that, I don't see anything reconciling them. I don't see it. I don't see it whatsoever. I do not. Because he's so blinded that he can't even see himself. He can't even see himself in her. Right? He can't even see himself in her. He literally is explaining himself. And Dokja can be very self-aware at times. He literally is explaining himself, but he's so blinded by the fact that he's talking about his mom, he can't see it. So I don't think there will ever be a way for Dokja to reconcile with his mom. I think he's too far gone. If he is to get better, it's not going to be with her. It will be after her. It will be one of these things of, we'll probably have a moment like, damn, I wish they could have had this moment. Possibly, maybe. This is a moment I wish they could have had together, instead of this being a moment of him coming to realization after the fact. I think that's the best we will get with the relationship. I think he's too hurt. He's too hurt. And there's no coming back. That's the best silver lining, that she wants to improve as a person. Yeah, that's the only silver lining I can think of. And I feel like her being sad, being here, and she's just like she's like, you have to think, whenever she's like, oh, I did this, I killed you. Yes, I killed you, because I know the prophecy. I know you're gonna come back to life. I know all these things. When she's doing that, I don't look at that as her being like the evil mom. I look at that as she's like Dokja. Those two clearly are like two peas in a pod. That's something Dokja would do. That's something Dokja has done already. That's a Dokja thing to do, and she did a Dokja thing. And I don't think that's her being evil. I just think that's the persona. That's her operating in the persona that she's now living in, that he's like, this is the persona of my mom. That's how I view her. And this is what she lives in. And that's what she lives in. And then she lets the guard down. And she's trying. Anytime she tries to be transparent, it's just like, it feels like she gives an honest answer, and the honest answer isn't good enough. Right? It's like she gives an honest answer, and Dokja's like, that can't be an honest answer, and she stammers and she moves on. Like, anytime it feels like she tries to be transparent, it's just like, I move on. I'll just continue to the next thing. So I feel like that it's just like there's no amount of being. I just realized that hold on. Just realized that, did she even kill the father? Nirvana at the last moment did say something like he knows something about Dokja's mom that he didn't for a ticket out of death. Nirvana did say that she lied to Dokja. We don't know what it was. That's true too. She did say that. That is true. And then called her like a loving mother. What if Dokja killed the dad? I love that Dokja usually sees the situation very objective, but this time he totally looks at his mom with his own view. That's realistic. Pitiful mother. Yeah, it's That's what it is. It's because she is the thing that connects him to real life, right? We have had our moments with fourth wall, but it's like she is the very real thing, right? She's the real thing. He's his real self. Like, if you want to use that, right? This Dokja that we have, like, this is like his newfound confidence he's operating in and knowing information and all this stuff. But the quote unquote real Dokja is the one that whenever that comes out when he talks to his mom. That's the real Dokja. That's the kid that went through trauma. The one that only read TWSA as an escape, where TWSA was the only thing that he had. That's the Dokja that lived the majority of his life. And then he turns back into the Dokja that has the facade, so to say. That's who that is. So it's clear that he's not as thoughtful when he's his real self, because he doesn't have the luxury of omniscience that he has being in TWSA. There is no omniscience in real life. So he's very normal when it comes to real life issues. He's just another person going through life. But in TWSA, he has all the information in the world. So it makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. I love this series, man. I love this series. Like, whenever we always have like these crazy long discussions whenever it comes around what the hell happened in that house and in their relationship. We always do. We had the same thing whenever the first time we had it. So interesting that he chose not to use lie detection. It's Galaxy Brain. It is. I think it fits because he couldn't. The thing. It makes sense that he didn't use lie detection because think about this, right? From a point of view, Dokja, she is probably his biggest villain. He's villainized her. She's evil to him. She's damn near evil to him. Imagine if she proclaims how sorry she is and he realizes she's telling the truth. Could he live with himself for villainizing her when, if push comes to shove, he comes to realize that she was just a hurt person too, going through life? And she went through traumas just like he did. But because he only viewed his own traumas, he never thought about her traumas. Could he live with the fact that that was the truth? I don't know if he could. He doesn't know if he could. So I'd rather not know. Or, flip side, what if she is this evil monster that I think she is? Could I live with the fact that my mother actually is this monster that I think she is? Could I live with that? I don't know if I could. Like, she was the beacon for me. She gave me what I hold and cherish. Right? Could I confirm that she is the evil that I'm villainizing her as? He couldn't live with that either. So I'd just rather not know, and I'd rather just stay with what I'm comfortable with. And I'm comfortable hating her. Comfortable with it. But I don't know if I could have it confirmed if she is that way or if she isn't that way. Very fine the way I am right now. That's what that is. That's what that is. And that's why he doesn't use it. That's what it is. That breaks his understanding, but I think he can, because she's in. That breaks his understanding, but I think he can because she's in the wrong. Damn, you said that when I was saying something, and I'm losing the context. But I think I know what you're saying. But I think it could be, it's like, it's a double-edged sword. If she says, I love you, and I lie to Tech and she's telling the truth. But if I lie to Tech and she says, I love you, and she doesn't, it's like the nail in the coffin. I don't think he can handle it. He couldn't handle both. He couldn't handle either. I don't think he could. Dokja's fragile. He's very fragile. He's very fragile. And I think either one would shatter him. And I don't know what he would be after that. But I think either or would shatter him. Either or. Imagine, put yourself in a situation where you hate, like you despise someone. And what they did actively ruined you. And you find out that person is genuinely remorseful. And what they did, they didn't mean to do it. And it had the worst effect that they thought. They thought this was going to happen, but this happened. And they never meant for this to happen. But you hated them for this happening. Imagine if you found out that they never wanted that to happen. And they only wanted this to happen. And they feel as hurt as you feel about them, they feel just as hurt about it. Right? Imagine that. That would rattle you. It would rattle the hell out of you. Especially if it's someone that you held at high regard. But then imagine if that same person, same situation, this happened, and you hate them for this happening, and you held them at high regard, and then you find out that they actually wanted this to happen to you. That would rattle you. You didn't let me finish. That's the point. But you didn't. Imagine if everything that happened to you, that this person you hold in high regard, they did it because they knew it was going to happen to you, and they didn't care it was going to happen to you. But they chose to do it anyways. They knew the consequence, and they did it anyways. And you feel like that's what they did. That's the thing. You feel like that's what they did. But then you find out that is what they did. That would rattle you. But if that's not what they meant to do, and they never meant for that to happen, and they only wanted good for you, but this bad thing happened and it wasn't malicious at all, it was legit an accident, an actual accident, right? An actual accident. Not like one of these, I'm texting on my cell phone and I crash into a family and kill them. That's not an accident. You intently texted on your cell phone. But if it was an actual accident, I'm driving and the car malfunctioned and I didn't do anything, my car goes out of control and I kill a family. And I didn't mean for that to happen, but it feels like I feel like that would shatter you knowing that this person never wanted anything bad to happen to you. But in your deeper heart, you felt like they did. And you have it confirmed. Because if you use this lie detection, it would be confirmed how she feels. It would be the undoubted truth, how she feels. And you find out that she never, ever meant for this to happen to you. But you thought she wanted the worst for you. That would mess with you. Whether you think it wouldn't or not, it would. It would mess with you. Each one would mess with you. You think someone had it out to get you, and you find out they actually had it out to get you, but or you find out that they never had it out to get you, but you feel the way you feel because you think everything you've been through. But what about after the accident? Why didn't you? I don't know. I don't know why. What if the government was like, yeah, you can't go back? I don't know. There could be any amount of reason. I don't know. I have no idea reason why. If that's the thing you're gonna hold, why she never came back, you got it. I don't know why she didn't come back. I can't give you a reason as to why she didn't come back. I can't tell you why she didn't come back. What if her guilt kept her away? Like, damn. Like, what if she ends up finding out how he felt? And she's just like, yeah, maybe my inclusion, like, he hates me so much, me coming back wouldn't do him any good. Just how self-deprecating you might feel, she might end up feeling the same self-deprecating way. And it's like, no, this should be what you do. The common sense thing doesn't, whenever there's trauma involved, the common sense choice doesn't always end up common sense. It's common sense. Go back to your kid, right? Right? It's common sense. Go back to your kid. But sometimes common sense isn't so common. It isn't. Like, we could throw it around. It's like, yes, go back to your kid. But it's like, we don't know where her mind could have been. We don't know. It could have been like, go back to your kid, but you never know. She could have been like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe he's good enough without me. I don't know. Is that stupid to think of? Yes. Right? It's stupid to think of? Yes, it is. But sometimes it could just be just as nuanced as that. A great statement. It's not that black and white, but I get why you feel that way. And I don't want to discredit you. You can choose to feel that way. I'm just trying to give you a different viewpoint. But I understand why you feel that way, because the common sense thing would be to go back to your kid. And for that person, it could just not be common sense. It could just not be common sense. Just like it wasn't common sense that she should have. It's common sense. You should tell your kid you love him. She didn't. Why? It's just like, why didn't you tell your kid you love him? I don't know. You must be a bad person. That's just not what I was thinking at that point in time. Why aren't you thinking that way? You could easily just twist it bad. And it could, like, the same reason why it's just like, she's not a bad person. She made a bad choice. Her not going back home could just be another one of those. She's not a bad person, but she just made a bad choice. That's the thing. It could just be one of those. I'm like really sweating. Holy shit. I gotta take it. Since Dokja's so fragile, my voice is gone. What if he breaks at some point in the story? Wow. What if he goes completely off the rails? Wow. What if Junghyuk is actually the main character and Dokja is like the villain? Ah! Wow. That's crazy. That would be insane. That would be crazy. I like it. I like it. Oh man, that's crazy. Oh man, my voice is toast. Oh man, I love this series, man. I love this series so much. What time is it? Time out. It's almost 11. 2 hours. Nah, these are one. I gotta title this. I gotta title this like incredible discussion. Like, watch the whole thing, because bro, this is just like, it's one of these amazing discussions. Oh man, it's one of these amazing discussions. Maybe I separate them. I don't know. There's no way to separate it because I did so much talking before I finished the chapter. There's no way to separate it. Like, I could have finished reading both chapters in like almost 45 minutes, but I didn't finish reading the first chapter until an hour and like 40 minutes into the like an hour and 30-ish, hour and 40-ish minutes into the stream. I finished the chapter. So there's no way for me to chop this up. This just has to go up as one thing. But I'm definitely going to have to put bullet points. I'm definitely going to have to bullet point this one to be like different talking points, which means I got to listen to it. This is going to take a little bit. Yeah, I have to too, because whenever we do these streams, which is crazy enough, you guys remember what I say better than I remember what I say, which is why it doesn't help or hurt. Like, it doesn't help to lie, because it doesn't make it, like, if I were to lie, I wouldn't remember that I lied. And then I would be talking about it, and then you'd be like, that don't make no sense. You didn't say that before. So it's just like, I just have to say how I feel. and say what I think. And then it's just like, if it stays the same, it stays the same and it's consistent. But if I'm just like lying or capping, it's just going to be all over the place, it feels like. And I feel like I'm consistent, even though I don't be remembering what I be talking about. I don't. I'm going to hit end on the stream when we finish. Oof, it's gone. It's going to be gone. I'm not going to remember. It's not going to remember at all. But y'all will remember what I said better than I do. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I'm definitely have to run this. This is going to take me a good minute to get this up. Just to get the bullet points down, because I'm going to have to listen to myself and different bullet points. And because what I'll do is I'll do like starting, recap, 194 start, 195 start, and then first bullet point of discussion, bullet point that discussion, then do 195 end, and then other bullet points. So I'll probably have to listen through again just to catch like what we were talking about and different things. So this should be a fun little edit to do really quick. Should be. My voice is toast. Damn it. I was trying to record something else tonight too. And I blew it. I thought I was going to be off an hour ago. I didn't think these chapters were going to be this. I didn't think these 2 chapters were going to be this. I completely blew through all the time that I was setting aside. Man. Excuse me. But just do as you did. I love this too. This was fun. These are fun. I enjoy these. It's like when we get them, when this series gets me going, it gets me going. There's not many series that get me going like this. I feel like this is the only series that really gets me going because I think it does a good job at actually reflecting the nuances of real life. Right? It in this weird galaxy brain universal multiversal plot, it captures real life a little too well. And it makes you pull on your own insecurities and your own traumas to try to relate your way through it, or divorce yourself of different viewpoints and stuff so you could get through it. And it's just like, man, I wish I could find some more series that make me do this. But I really enjoy Omniscient Reader. I say it all the time. I didn't like this. I didn't like Omniscient Reader first 20 chapters in. I didn't like it. I didn't like Dokja. I thought the story was okay. I was putting up with it because it was content. And who would have thunk? Like chapters later, it would be one of my favorite series. It would be literally one of my favorite series that I've ever read. I really enjoyed it. I really did. Once I understood that Dokja's a certain way because of X, Y, and Z, it made me understand why he was that way. And I was like, man. Excuse me. But it's like, I'm glad. Like, if I was reading this on my own, outside of content, I don't know if I would have made it past the first 20 chapters. Because it was content, and I roped it in with so many other things and was just on the grind, doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. I just ended up falling in love with it. And out of the things that I was doing, see, now it's been a minute since I read the beginning after the end, because it's been on hiatus and it's been so long. But I do remember the beginning after the end was my favorite because I had started Black Clover, I started this, and I was doing the beginning after the end all at the same time. And I remember of the 3, the beginning after the end was my favorite at the same time. But right now, because it's been so long since I read the beginning after the end, Omniscient Reader is my favorite out of the 3. But I do feel like, as far as stories go, I can't say I don't know if I like the beginning after the end more or Omniscient Reader more. They might be tied, because as much as I love Omniscient Reader, I haven't been given a high that one moment in the beginning after the end gave me. Like, I begged for something. I begged for it. I begged and I begged and I begged and I begged for it. And the series actually gave it to me. when I thought it never would. And it's the first time in any story that I've ever read or watched where I begged for something to happen and it actually happened and it was as satisfying as I wanted it to be. That I've never had that. It's like I beg for like a character to die in Tower of God. I beg for her to die. And I just beg and I beg and I beg. And I know I'll never get it. I know I never will. I did the same thing with the beginning, after, and the end. I begged and I begged and I begged and I got it. And it blew me away. And I've no other series has. I love Dragon Ball. I love My Hero. I love all these series. No, my favorite series haven't done that for me. Where I begged for something and it gave it to me. I've never, ever had that happen. And the beginning, after, the end now lives in infamy in my heart and in my brain. And it holds something above all of the other series that I've ever read. As the series that gave me the Forbidden. So it's like, I love Omniscient Reader, but I haven't gotten the Forbidden yet. But I'm certain Omniscient Reader will give me the Forbidden. I'm certain of it. How good this series is written. I'm sure this series will give it to me. But I haven't gotten it yet. So I feel like that's why the beginning, after, the end kind of is holding it, because in my weird brain and heart, I'm holding it to this standard because it's done something no other series has done for me. And I don't think another series will do for me. I don't say that, I'm sure. I'm for real, I don't know if it's going to happen. She's too tied to the plot. She's too tied to it. She's too important. I don't think it'll happen. Or Omniscient Reader always throws a question and end with an answer yes. So I'm certain Omniscient Reader will give me something that'll just pow and put it in that same stratosphere, right? It will do it. I've been this series has done this to me, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna take my head off and put it on the shelf. It's gonna do it. I know it will, but it hasn't done it yet. I can't put it up there because I know it will do it. It actually has to do it. So it's like, until it does it, then I'll put it up there. Like, until it does it, right? Until it does it. If you want that Forbidden, then the best series for that is The Hero Who Seeks Revenge Shall Exterminate with Darkness. Now, I don't like revenge necessarily, right? I'm not a huge revenge person, but it'll be something like, I want, like, let's just say, like, if it were like a romance series, and you know how romance series go, where it's clear the main girl that's being pushed is always going to end up with the main guy that's going to be pushed. The main girl and the main guy will always end up together. But we all know in those romance series, the main girl always should be with the secondary girl. She's clearly better for him, but that's not what plot is supposed to give us, right? The plot is going to give us that the main guy and the main girl ends up together, and the side girl will always be the side girl that gets her heart broken and has to be third wheel and live with that, right? Always. So, and it's like the same thing. I need a romance series that's going to give me the main guy and give me the main girl, and then give me the girl he should be with, and then tease me, and then give me the true thing, and then it's just like, But until that happens, I can't say. So it's like, it's not necessarily always like the revenge thing. It's just like the thing that I wish that should happen. I want this thing to happen, but it's probably never going to happen. And it happens. That's what I want. Right now, Omniscient Reader doesn't even have that for me. Like, I don't even have a thing that I wish had happened. I don't even have that. I kind of just let this series take me by the balls. That's what I kind of have. I gotta add some of these things to my list. Notepad. or a sticky note. Add these series you're putting down to my list. Shuffle quintessential quintuplets. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Sorry. I'm done. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Amazing discussion. I want another one of these discussions soon enough. I don't even know what the next chapter is going to be about. They facing off. Things are popping off. It's going crazy. I'm just glad that he didn't use electrification on his mom. See, I would have been in peril. I would have been in peril if he's like, bookmark electrification. Like, he's going to kill her. No. I'm glad he did Lycanon. I'm glad he did that. I'm glad he did that, because I would have been in pure panic if he would have went electrification. But thank you guys. I appreciate you. If I don't see you for the rest of the week, if I don't stream for the rest of the week, have a good rest of your week. Have a good weekend coming up. And hopefully, God willing, I see you guys right back here next Tuesday for 196 of Omniscient Reader. So again, thank you. I appreciate you, and I'll see you. Peace out. I'll take care of my voice. I'll do my best. I'm trying.